All right, guys, what's going on? Today is Thursday, June 27th, and we are going to be discussing some very cool topics. And I do believe that IT and AI uh, fields are among the ones that are in the greatest demand in the US as of right now. Not only I'm saying this because I see that IT specialists really needed in US companies, regardless of the economy. But also, that's what the USCIS and the government representatives are talking about. All right. So that's why we're going to be discussing this topic. And I think it's going to be really interesting for you guys who did not yet start your journey to get your O1, EB1A, or EB2 NIW cases. Okay? But before we begin, guys, and we're going to discuss the recent approvals. We got some really cool cases that we got approved for the past week. But let me address something else, guys, and smoke on this. Okay, let me finish, because you might think that Stanislav is crazy or something. But let me get my point through, and I want to talk about mental health. All right, mental health. And not the mental health in the sense that this is a problem in the world, and it is. But I'm going to be discussing this in the format of working on your cases. Okay, I do believe that working on the immigrant or non-immigrant case doesn't really matter. Just working on it takes a lot of mental strength. Okay, because you have never done this. And a lot of you are accomplished people and achieved a lot of things and respect, and you know what you do in the field and you're professionals. But when it gets down to preparing the documents, you have to be really strong to go through this process. Okay? Really strong, mentally, not physically. And I see this left and right, where the clients are stressing out about the process, about the rules that we impose on our clients, and we have to impose the rules, because without the rules there would be no process. And it sometimes it gets to your bones, it gets to your nerves. And I want to address this issue. You guys have to be prepared to work on your cases as if it's a second job. Okay, especially if you go by the base offers that we have in our company. Okay, I don't want to say the cheapest, because nothing is cheap. Okay, nothing regarding immigration in the US is cheap. Okay, and we know about that. And the reason being is that it's not an expense, it's an investment in your future, in the future of your kids, in the future of your generations ahead. Okay, but you gotta be ready to have a lot of stress and pain, especially if you are not flexible to accept the new rules that you need to follow. Okay, and I know some of you are like business people and you have maybe 100 people under your control, like I do. Okay, so even I'm putting myself in the shoes of my clients. Like, it would be hard mentally be flexible to follow somebody else's rules when you are the one to make those rules for other people. All right, but you have to do this. You have to be open. You have to open your mind. You have to open your heart. You have to follow what we produced and developed for you, because in our mind there's only one goal. There's only one goal: to get you the result, and get it in the most effective and efficient way. All right, so this is important. So be strong and open yourself to the process that we developed for many years. Okay, we've been developing and we're still developing. All right, okay, it's we got it out of the way. Let's now talk about the fresh approvals. We just got 2 fresh approvals today in the morning, right before the stream. One is EB1A, one is EB2 NIW, and both of these visas are good for the today's topic, the IT and AI. And actually, let me tell you guys, the EB2 NIW that we got approved for our client from France, it's IT related, okay? He is an IT specialist, okay? IT specialist. And his project, his endeavor, and that's what you guys want to know the most, like, oh, Stanislav, tell me about the new projects, tell me more about the fresh approvals, what's the trend, what USIS wants to see. And that's what they want to see, guys. They want to see that you resolve some kind of the problem, and the resolution of this problem is in a national importance. So it's important for the US government. And why did I start with the mental health? Because this client's project was the platform for mental health awareness, for mental health problems. So what he did, he found a doctor in the US who will be creating content for this platform, and he will be behind the coding of this platform. And the question is, what problem do we resolve with this platform? Well, we address the mental health issues, okay? Is this a problem in the US? Of course, everywhere, huge problem, okay? Look at our president. He's the number one example, right? Huge problem. So is it important for the US government to have such projects that resolve these kind of problems? Absolutely. Absolutely. Very important, right? Because any government wants its population to be healthy, to be mentally stable. Just like I want you guys to be, okay? We have the same interest because the process of getting the documents, it's tough, okay? Unless you guys go by the premium offer, where we do the turnkey project for, not the project, the documents, so we draft the documents and you just provide the information. That's much better, but you have to put more finance in it, okay? So this project was approved without RFE very fast. 4 days, guys, 4 days. My record is 1 day for EB2 and IW, okay? There was a case, we filed on Friday, and Saturday it was approved, okay? So this one got 4 days. Still pretty good, provided that they have 45 days with expedited processing. So great project, IT and mental health, very good, a very good combination. Basically two interests, technology and mental health awareness. So this is a very good example what US government want from our petitions. Okay, the second case, and it's also today's morning case, is EB1A for a lady from Russia. She is a specialist in insurance. Okay, life insurance, health insurance, all kind of insurances, okay? And you'll be like, oh my God, I didn't know this could be a talent. Yes, anything could be a talent, guys. Any good professional in any field can get the approval for a talent visa or EB2 and AW. All right? So these are the two fresh approvals of today, but we have more. We have EB1A for a talented engineer, software engineer. He's from Russia. We got him 6 criteria filed. His membership in IEEE, senior level. A bunch of press about him. He got the contribution in the field. He got academic articles, critical leading role, and the commercial success. Guys, classic. This is a classic petition, okay? Pretty much for anyone, for IT, for business, 6 criteria, the ones that I listed, and with most of these criteria, we helped our clients, okay? So we provided the resources for him to get those criteria satisfied, all right? And that's what we do. That's what we specialize at. Another EB1A for expert in digital transformation. Okay, this is a new profession, by the way, guys. Digital transformation. What the hell is digital transformation? Nobody knows. Okay, nobody knows. But we do know. We do know. That's when an expert comes to business and help them to transform from analog world to digital worlds. Okay, optimization of the processes. All right. So, and there is a profession like that. So, very good case. We got him 8 criteria. Strong case, strong credentials. Another EB1A for a client from Ukraine. He is also software developer, but guys, his specialization is in the toll roads. Just think about it for a second. Not only he's a software developer, but he has a niche, software development in toll roads. What is a toll road? When you drive on the highway and you have to pay, right? So he does that software that, all the cameras, they take a picture, they transform the information, all this craziness, okay? So you can get a green card even in this sphere. Yeah, I think that's it. So very good week, 6 approvals, all green cards, 5 EB1As and 1 EB2NW. Really good week, really good week. All right, so let's start talking about today's topic, and that's the talent visas in IT and artificial intelligence. And basically almost all these cases, maybe except for the insurance expert, they all related to IT. And you guys saw that IT sphere it could be used in so many other fields: medicine, roads, engineering, construction, the websites, anything, right? Platforms, applications. So it doesn't really matter which specific direction you chose in your IT profession. Finance, banking, cryptocurrency, blockchain, cybersecurity. And I put AI as end, like as if it's a separate direction. But guys, we all know that IT and AI as of today cannot be separated. No more. Not anymore. Let's put it this way, okay? Pretty much any platform, any application, any software, any website, any new development and startup, all of them incorporate AI in it. Okay? I do about 5-6 complex immigration plannings a day. And I get 2-3 IT people a day. So probably half of those clients are IT related. And I have not seen for a long time any IT developer that has not done anything with AI, or it does not incorporate AI in the projects. Okay, it seems like it's almost non-existent. It's almost non-existent. So when I say IT and AI, that basically means that these two things already morphed together, and it's almost a one thing. Okay, one thing with maybe very rare exceptions. Okay, and you guys know it. You guys know it. You are the ones telling me that, not me telling you that. All right, so we are talking about IT and AI, neural networks, all this craziness that you guys working on, and a lot of time I see Python language is one of the first ones that are in this industry, right? Python and others. I used to see a lot of JavaScript, C++, and other languages. They don't teach you that in law school, guys. It's like I learned it from my clients, and I love it. I love nice IT projects. I like them for O1s, I like them for EB1As, and I like them for EB2NWs. So let's now talk about the most available structures for you guys to start the process of coming to the US. And now, many of you are IT experts and software developers, and you are either working on some startup ideas or you have your own ideas that you want to implement through the startup. Okay? And if you are at this level of your personal development and you want to follow this track and try to bring something good to this world, I'm a firm believer that O1 visa is the very first option you must consider. Okay? And you're gonna say, Stanislav, I'm not talented. I'm just a software developer. I'm just writing my code. Or I'm writing a code and I'm looking for investments. I'm looking to develop my startup. I understand that. And it's not a problem. It's actually really good. It's music to my ears. Okay, it's music to my ears. Because it's like a hybrid petition between business and IT. And IT is always STEM. And we know what the immigration officers want to see in the petition. They want to see STEM. Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. That's what they want to see. And you cannot blame them for this, right? Because US poses itself as #1 hub in the world for STEM. All right? And where do we get all these brains? We import them from outside of the US. Okay? So if you are an IT professional who has its startup idea, already has a startup, the O1 visa is the first thing that you have to think about. Okay? Why? Because you at least have 2-3 criteria without actually knowing it. What are those criteria? #1, the critical and leading role in a company with distinguished reputation. It may be your startup, but most likely you got your experience somewhere in the past, working for some company or companies that gave you this experience. All right? Which means, in immigration sense, that you have one criterion satisfied. Because when you work as a software developer in a company that has a distinguished reputation, and many IT companies have distinguished reputations, you definitely played some important role in their projects. Okay? So you have at least one criterion. #2, you get paid good salary. And many of you work in companies that are outside of your country and they pay you much more money than the companies could pay in your country. That happens all the time, right and left, every day, okay? And even the IT companies within your country still pay you very good salaries, okay? And I need that salary to be at least 30% more than the average salary in your profession, in your local geographical territory. All right? So let's say people get paid $1,000 in your town, in your country, and you get paid $2,000, $2,500 or more. So that already shows that you get commercial success in your field. More than enough for the purpose of O1 visa. So these are 2 criteria. The third one is often contribution in the industry. Okay? And if you guys follow me closely, you're gonna say, Stanislav, but you are the one to tell us that contribution in the industry is one of the hardest and rarest criteria in this petition. And you'll be right, unless you are an IT specialist. Okay, that I don't say that, but that's just the truth. And why? Because you guys work for those projects that are significant for the industry. How are they significant? Because people use them. Okay, if you work on a platform, open source code, on the open source library, if you work on applications, on websites for those companies where you got your critical role, they usually have significance and importance in the field. And most of them, if not all, are innovative, okay, with the new technology. So through that, we can show that you got the contribution in the industry. And it doesn't matter that you worked in a team on those projects. Okay? So, without knowing, most of you already have 3 criteria. And trust me, guys, that's more than enough to start the O1 process. Because even if you don't have academic articles and the press about you and your projects, those criteria can be worked on throughout the process of preparing your O1 visa for the following 6 months. Okay? So academic articles and media about you are the 4th and the 5th criteria. And voila! For 5 minutes, guys, I got you the strategy for your O1 visa. Okay? That's what other people pay $350 to come and meet with me, so I could draft that strategy in writing. Okay? And it happens in 2 phases. The meeting with the data manager and then meeting with me. Okay? 2-step process. So the last thing that's left in the sense of the criteria, okay? Because of course, all this needs to be described, the paperwork, the documents, of course. That will happen for the next 5 months. But from the point of view of satisfying the criteria, we have only 1 step to go. Opening up a company in the US that's gonna be your employer, okay? And that's where you're gonna put all your intellectual property for your new or existing startup, if you have not done that yet, because some of you already have an LLC or corp in the US. And if you don't have, it's really easy to do. Okay, we actually provide the service for our clients. We help them open the companies that will serve their employers. Okay, there are certain things you need to, tune and tweak, and you gotta do it right, but it's possible. It's possible. Okay, so from 0 to hero for 5 minutes, many of you got the way how to get to the US and start developing your idea. Okay, and of course it has an IT and most likely AI component to it. All right, so this is really good. So this is the first step. The second step to get to the green card, EB1A or EB2 in IW. All right, so you have the option. We call it a fork. You got a fork, okay? One way or the other. I'm not gonna go deep into the criteria of EB1A and EB2 in IW. You guys all know it, or if you don't, all you need to do is to watch my videos on YouTube. I have a lot of videos where I explain in detail what's behind those criteria, what documents we need to use to satisfy those criteria, and what's the process behind those visas. Today, I'm going to address the concept behind EB1A or EB2 NIW. And by the way, guys, why are we talking so much about those 2 visas? Why don't we talk about EB1B, EB1C, EB2, EB3, EB4, EB5, all these visas? Why are we specifically addressing only 2 visas among the variety that's available to anyone or almost anyone? And the answer is really easy. Because these two visas are the only two options in the galaxy where everything is under your control. Okay? What's the practical meaning of that thing? The practical meaning is that you do not have to rely on the third party to help you with those visas. Why? Because they do not require an employer. Yes, there may be an employer. There may be someone who wants to hire you. And it's gonna help. But in 95% of the cases, we file without an employer. Okay? And if you do have an employer in a labor certification visas, EB2, EB3, if you go by EB4, you have to have an employer, EB1B, EB1C, EB5, with some exceptions, you have to have an employer. So if you have a third independent party that has to sponsor somehow your visa or your petition, that means that you put yourself in the hands of other people who we do not control. Okay? That's why we're putting so much focus and emphasis on EB1A and EB2 NIW. So what are the concepts of developing those visas after you got your O1 visa in the US? EB1A is easy. You continue getting achievements and recognition through your project. You're getting more press, you're getting more articles, you participate in the competitions, you're trying to be a juror in some other competitions. I couldn't sneeze, guys. Oh my god. Oh, yeah, it's the worst feeling when you're trying to sneeze and you can't. Okay, so EB1A is basically O1A on steroids, right? So we need to get more of everything and with more depth, okay? With more depth. So that's one way to go when you continue investing in yourself, okay, in your recognition, in your being famous, in your being a part of the industry. All right, that's option number one, and that's how we get a lot of green cards. Option number two, the idea behind your project, behind your endeavor in EB2 and IW resolves some kind of the problem. And resolution of this problem is in the national interest, is of the national importance of the US government. For example, the case that I just mentioned to you, the IT specialist from France, it wants to create the platform, okay, the platform. So what's the platform? The website and an application, right? And what problem does this platform resolve? It resolves or addresses the mental health issues. Is the addressing and resolution of this problem is of the national importance? Yeah, no argument against that, right? It's important. Is this person well positioned to implement this project? Yes, because he has 10 years of experience doing the coding and programming. And he has the doctor who will be creating the content for this platform. So everything is ready to go. Everything is ready to go. So let's sum this up. You come to the US on O1 visa, which is possible to do within 8 months from the day of your start working on the case. Once you're in the US and you started developing your IT startup and you see which way it's going, you may choose between the two options. Option number one is EB1A if you want to put more in your own development. Or option number two, EB2 NIW, when the project itself is going to resolve some important problem in the US. Okay? Okay, let's take a look. Matija got a question. How much does whole process cost approximately? Very good question. Very good question. So I'm going to address the cost of the process when you guys work with my team, with my corporation. Okay? So O1 visa, you could get your O1 visa approved paying for the services of my company $11,000. Okay? $11,000. It doesn't include the government fee, the translations, if we have them, and the improvement of your petition. Because if you don't have press coverage, if you don't have academic articles, or maybe there are some other criteria that we can help you with, or our vendors can help you with, you have to pay extra for that. And this could be, this is a huge range, because it goes by country and by profession. Okay, so that's regarding O1. Regarding EB1A and EB2NIW, the base price for those petitions is $13,000. Okay, so it's 11 and 13. That's just the, and guys, very important, that's just the services of my company. Okay, there are other expenses which I already mentioned. All right, so another question that I need to address. If you go by those prices, and we have more expensive offers, right? So it could be, EB1A could be up to $22,000. What's the difference? And there are 4 categories of pricing for each visa. What's the difference? Why this one is 13 and this one is 22? It's like 9,000 difference between the price. Well, the difference is how much time you're ready to commit to the case for the next 5 months. If you go by $11,000 or $13,000 for O1 or EB visa, you have to be ready to give your petition 10 hours a week for the next 5 months. If you go by the 4th offer, it's only 1 hour a week. Okay, so it's all about the time, not about your chances of the approval. Okay, because chances of approval are going to be the same, but your time committed to the petition is going to be different. All right, so that's the difference. So really good question, Matija. All right, guys, so I'm done with the material. Let me know what you guys think about it. Get me the questions. While you're doing this, or while you're thinking about it, don't forget that your first step on the way to come to the US starts with a free evaluation. What is a free evaluation? I dropped you the links in the chat for O1, for EB1A, and for EB2NIW. So what you have to do, fill out all or one of them, the one that you think is the best for you, answer all the questions, submit it, and within 2 days, I'll get back to you with initial analysis of your petitions. And if I see the potential in your case, I will invite you to the complex immigration planning, where I will draft a written winning strategy for your case. Matija, I have about 3 years of experience in IT. Is that enough or too little for application for any kind of visa? Matija, I think it's a good amount of experience that you got. It's a good amount. So the question here is not whether this experience is good enough. The question here, what recognition and what type of experience you have in the industry. And to answer that question, I need you to fill out the O1 visa free evaluation form. Okay? You could find that link in the chat. All right? Because I don't know what else you have. Okay? Because you might be working in Google, right? With these 3 years of experience, getting a lot of money, getting good salary, working with big projects. Maybe you speak at the conferences. I don't know. Okay, so I need all this information to see what type of visa is good for you and how we're gonna get it through. All right, guys, I'm done. Happy end of the week. Spend some time with your families. Enjoy, recharge to kill the next week. All right. My name is Stanislav Shamayev. I'm a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.